Telltale Games was an American video game developer. The company was founded in July of 2004 and was founded by Kevin Bruner, Dane Connors, and Troy Molander. But on October 11th, 2018, the company went bankrupt due to general assignment. So what went wrong? Well, to find out, we're gonna have to head back to where it all began. Foundation and initial growth from 2004 to 2010. Telltale Games was founded in San Rafael, California by Kevin Bruner and Dan Connors and Troy Molander, a group of former LucasArts employees that worked on the studio's adventure games. In March 2004, LucasArts recognized that they were current marketplace realities and underlying economic considerations that made adventure games too risky to release, and canceled work on 2 sequels of previous adventure games, Full Throttle 2 and Sam and Max Freelance Police, as well as laying off many of those developers. Bruner, Connors, and Molander were not among the layoffs, but felt that the change of direction at LucasArts was not favorable and departed the company later that year to found Telltale Games, July 2004. The studio opening was announced on October 4th. The name Telltale was selected by Bruner as the three envisioned themselves creating more adventure games, but de-emphasizing puzzle elements in favor of narrative aspects, telling a tale to the user. Technology attorney Ira P. Rotkin negotiated publishing and licensing deals for the company. The company's initial goal was to develop a new Sam and Max game in an episodic format. Grossman said that Telltale identified that Sam and Max had a small but dedicated audience, allowing them to develop a title that would be successful in reaching out to this group and not requiring them to seek out a bigger license that would have incurred more development costs. Developing a Sam and Max game required both development of tools to produce the game and the license to make it. At the time of the studio's founding, the license for Sam and Max was still held by LucasArts, who refused to negotiate a deal nor license the work on Sam and Max Freelance Police for Telltale to complete it. Telltale waited out the licensing period until around mid-2005, after which Steve Purcell, Sam and Max's curator, immediately offered the license to Telltale. Until they could get to that point, the studio developed other games to bring in revenue and keep the studio afloat. On February 11th, 2005, the company released their first game, Telltale Texas Hold'em, a poker card game simulator, which was intended primarily to test the Telltale tool, their in-house game engine. They used the license around Jeff Smith's Bone comic book series to test the episodic format. Though initially planned for a 5-episode series, Telltale only released 2 episodes in 2005 and 2006, and the remaining episode had been canceled. Alongside Bone, Telltale developed a series of games for Ubisoft around the CSI television series, including CSI 3 Dimensions of Murder, CSI Hard Evidence, CSI Deadly Intent, and CSI Fatal Conspiracy. Though these games were also developed as episodes, they were each released in single packages. Outside of Ubisoft, few other publishers were interested in distributing Telltale's early games, forcing them to turn their own distribution system. Once they had secured the rights to Sam and Max, Telltale set about to making this game with an episodic approach, with episodes planned to be released on a tight monthly basis through their partner GameTap. Sam & Max Season 1 was considered a success for the company and considered one of the first successful demonstration of an episodic release in video games. The success led to additional funding through 2 rounds of angel investment, including Matthew Lee Murley and members of angel group Curious to Form. The studio created the second season for Sam & Max and found additional niche intellectual property areas, including Wallace and Gromit Homestar Runner, to continue the episodic adventure game format. When Daryl Rodriguez became CEO of LucasArts in 2008, he wanted to see the old LucasArts adventure properties flourish, leading to a license for Telltale to create a new game in the Monkey Island series, Tales of Monkey Island. Telltale was also able to expand their release platforms beyond personal computers, with releases of the games on various consoles at the time. To supplement their normal episodic games, Telltale created a pilot program in early 2010 to explore one-off games that would explore other gameplay and storytelling approaches that could eventually be incorporated into their episodic games. The first game, Nelson Tether's Puzzle Agent, a puzzle-solving game in collaboration with Graham Annabelle, was released in June 2010 with poker game featuring characters from Sam & Max, Homestar Runner, Valve's Team Fortress 2, and the webcomic Penny Arcade was released in late 2010. Telltale followed up Puzzle Agent with a sequel, Puzzle Agent 2, in 2011. In 2013, Telltale continued the series with Poker Night 2. The Walking Dead started out as a pilot program game that was known internally as the Zombie Prototype. In general, few of these games brought in large revenues, and until 2010, the founders feared that investors would suddenly pull out of the company and would force its closure. Major franchise accusations from 2010 to 2016. Having established themselves as working with comedy franchises, Telltale chose to work with dramatic franchises as well as comedy series. In June 2010, Telltale announced that they had secured licenses with NBC Universal to develop 2 episodic series based on Back to the Future and Jurassic Park. Notably, Telltale's Jurassic Park the game was the first to break away from the standard adventure game format, including elements like quick-time events and time-limited choices, which would become a core gameplay element in their future adventure games. Telltale obtained the license from NBC Universal to develop episodic series around the Law and Order franchise in April 2011. By 2010, Telltale had proven itself successful with yearly revenues of $10 million, 90% greater than the previous year. Part of this was attributed to Back to the Future, the game, which Steve Allison, the senior vice president of marketing, called in 2011 their most successful franchise to date. Allison stated that for most of their games, they only need to sell 100,000 copies to break even, but many of their recent releases have seen twice that number or more.